Hi everybody, it is Coffyn here from Continue the Magic, and this is your news update for the week of July 27th. So we're getting a little bit spookier for this news update. We have the new menu options from the Six Ravens that is coming to Disney Springs at Walt Disney World. We have updates on some food options that are coming to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and then we have some Halloween Horror Nights house news updates as well. So let's get started. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. It really helps me out at the channel, and make sure that you never miss a video. So to get us started, let's go into the Six Ravens menu update. So if you're not familiar with Six Ravens, this is the new savory kind of lunch location that they're opening at Disney Springs, and this is related to the Gideon's cookie shop. So you're going to have that same kind of aesthetic. You guys are same owners there, but rather than doing kind of sweet over at Gideon's, at Six Ravens, we're looking at savory. So we're looking at kind of those lunch and dinner options. So the main things at this location are going to be the Coffyns. And the Coffyns are a stuffed pastry, so a handheld savory dish that you can have as a quick grab-and-go meal. So the first is Villain of Valentina, and this is a chicken pesto-based pie, sort of pesto chicken. You're going to have tomatoes, and you're going to have a lot of garlic here, and this is paired with a garlic sauce. The next one is the Imperial Idol, and this one is a spicy chicken with a potato and carrot curry. That sounds really tasty, and this one has a red panda dipping sauce with it. Then we have the Forager's Find. This is your vegetarian options. This is sweet potatoes, you have corn and bean salsa and pepitas, and this one comes with a mango aioli. And then we have the Peasant's Patty, and this one's a classic cheeseburger. So you have beef, cheese, and cut up pickles. And this one's going to have a salamander dipping sauce. This one sounds really interesting. This is the Wizard's Wonder. So this is basically a pulled pork mac and cheese in that coffin hand pie. And this is going to be served with a barbecue sauce. So this one sounds heavy and rich, but very tasty. And the last one is the Moorish Monk. And then this is another vegetarian option. This is basically a multi-cheese, grilled cheese option with their homemade tomato jam in there as well. The side here is the Tale Teller Taties. This one's a bit of a mouthful to say when you're ordering, but this is basically a bucket of baked smashed potatoes, and that's going to have a honey mustard served with it. And there is a dessert here. This is the Tart Tempest. This is going to be a chocolate tart with a raspberry topping. Not a lot of dessert options here, so you can kind of have lunch here, head over to Gideon's for cookies for dessert later if you want more options there. And for a drink, they do have the Friar's Fault. So I think this is going to be similar to how they have the custom cold brews over at Gideon's. The specialty drink here is this kind of home brewed root beer option. And then you can also get beers on site here if you want to have a drink with your lunch. So great that Gideon's is expanding, doing something new. It's great to have another restaurant option over at Disney Springs. I call it quick service, but knowing the lineup at Gideon's, are we going to have that same kind of lineup and queue over at Six Ravens? It may not be as quick as you're hoping for, but great to see a new option popping up there. So sticking with Disney and spooky foods, let's go into the menus that have come out for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So starting over at Casey's Corner, it looks like they've added Chipotle barbecue pork to a lot of their menu options. So you can get this on fries, you'll be able to get it on corn dogs, you're going to be able to get it on your hot dog. So a few different options there. They're also going to have the Headless Horseman treat, and this is a pumpkin pie tart, and that is topped with whipped cream cheese. For your Mickey-shaped items over at the bakery, we are going to have a new decorated Mickey-shaped cinnamon roll, and there's going to be a cheesecake there as well. At the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, they're going very pumpkin forward with a pumpkin sundae. So that's a pumpkin ice cream. It's going to have a pumpkin caramel sauce as well as pumpkin brittle. So super pumpkin forward, but that one is available both during the party and during the regular day. Over at the Plaza restaurant, you're going to have a crispy chicken sandwich, you have a skull meatloaf, and a pecan caramel cheesecake. Over at Anti-Gravity's, they're going to have a cauldron cold brew, so you have to have your seasonal Joffrey's drinks. And this one is going to be your cold brew, and it's going to have a pumpkin foam with some Halloween sprinkles on that. Over at the lunching pad, we get 2 new toppings for their hot dogs there. So there's going to be a kimchi and a jalapeno popper option. And some cool Hades themed desserts here. So you're going to have some Hades cake pops, which looks super cool. And then keeping with that same color aesthetic, they're going to do the blue slushy with a black kind of syrup on top of that to give that Hades burning flame look, which these look super cool. Over at Cosmic Rays, we're going to have a garlic butter burger, and this one is going to have brie in that as well, so that sounds really tasty. And then they're going to have a sweet and sour option for their chicken fingers. For dessert, we have Minnie's Witch Hat, and this is a sugar cookie, and then it's topped with a strawberry banana mousse made to look like Minnie's Witch Hat. This one looks really nice. Whether it looks that nice in person or not, it was yet to be seen. And for a drink, we have the Oogie Boogie Slushie, and this is going to be a green apple cider with a cinnamon whipped cream. The Cheshire Cafe has a new tart. This is the Queen of Hearts, and this is going to be sour cherry filled. And over at Storybook Treats, you can get the tart here as well, and then you can also get the Ursula cone. And this one is wild berry soft serve. It's got a coral candy with it, and then it's got a citrusy cotton candy to top that off. At Friar Nook's, you have a bowl of bones, so this is obviously chicken wings. You have a buffalo chicken hand pie, and you have some jalapeno tots, and as well, they're adding in some apple donut holes. At Be Our Guest, we're going to have the short ribs for your main, and for dessert, they're changing the gray stuff, and they're shaping this into the Forbidden Rose. At the Pinocchio Village House, we have a cool Cruella dessert here. So these are chocolate cookies dipped in white chocolate, and you've got a raspberry ganache with that. And a new option for our vegetarians is they're going to have a pumpkin-filled ravioli. So that's a nice addition to the Pinocchio house for sure. If you're heading over to the Columbia Harbor House, you have the s'mores cup here. This one looks really cute with kind of, you can see the layers in the cup, but then you get your 2 little ghost marshmallows on top, which are adorable. The fun one over at Sleepy Hollow, you've got the Doom Buggy dumplings, and then you have the Hatbox Ghost Pop, and this is chocolate mousse with dulce de leche. They're also doing a variation on their chicken and waffles, and then of course a pumpkin funnel cake. At Pickle Spill, you have the Cursed Cowboy Fries. So these are going to be topped with burnt ends. So that's going to be really tasty. They have a new black bean burger that looks really good. You've got buzzard wings. So these are large chicken wings. And then you have pumpkin churros. They also have the Skullicious cake. This one is a chocolate mousse cake with a peanut butter topping. So that's good if you like that peanut butter flavor. And then they have a guava lemonade slushie. At Golden Oak, you have the Cajun crawfish and sausage poutine. So this is a variation on their poutine that they have there. They're also going to kind of decorate their beignets. It doesn't seem like they're changing a lot here, but they'll probably add some, colored sprinkles and make it look a little bit more festive to have your beignets at the event. And if you want your variation on a Dole Whip, you have a mango Dole Whip float with pineapple juice, and this is going to have chamoy and chili lime topping. So that one should be interesting if you like that kind of spicy, sweet flavor. So some cool options coming to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party to give you something new to try if you are going to that event. So now let's head over to Halloween Horror Nights and talk about some of the new house announcements that we know so far. So as far as the IP houses, we already knew that Sinners was coming. Some new ones that have been announced that are coming both to Hollywood and to Orlando. So we have Hellraiser coming, we have Evil Dead Burn coming, and then the one that I think is very cool is Stranger Things is coming back for Stranger Things 5. So it's always cool to see how they put these IP ones together with those kind of iconic visuals that you expect from the movies and the TV series. They tend to do a really good job and stay pretty true to those. So good to see those coming back. In Orlando, we also get our original IPs. So let's go through some of the ones that they've announced. So the first one is Cybergoria. So this one is kind of leans into AI, that theme that's happening right now. So you wake up thousands of years in the future and machines have kind of taken over. So you're getting that post-apocalyptic view. Then they're going to have invasion, alien abduction. This one, obviously the name kind of says it all, that it's an alien abduction. It's going to take place in kind of a remote homestead where the aliens are coming and looking for new test subjects. Then you have Madeline's Caged Cannibals. This one's kind of interesting. The premise here is that it's kind of a defunct zoo that has been taken over by cannibals. So interesting concept there. I'm not quite sure how they're going to pull this one off, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. And the last one we have is HR Blood and Guts Halloween Fright-tacular. So this is going to be kind of like a televised marathon, scare-a-thon. So there's going to have ghouls and different acts throughout this. So I love that Orlando does that mix between the IPs and the original stories. I know people complain a lot that Disney doesn't really do original concepts anymore, so it's nice that every year Universal is putting some original IP out into the world and seeing if that gains traction. And honestly, these tend to be some of the most popular houses because they really go all in on these. So great to see Universal Creative bringing it back again this year. So this ended up being your spooky update for this week. Lots of details coming out about the Halloween events because it is nearly August, which means they are starting soon. So with that, thanks for joining me again. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I will see you next time.